week on Soundbites, a remembrance of restaurants past. I'm Chris Herrington, and I'm joined this week again by Holly Whitfield. We're going to take a melancholy trip down memory lane, but first, you can find all of our food stories and this show in podcast form at dailymemphian.com, where you can also sign up for our weekly Table Talk newsletter. You can also catch Soundbites Thursdays at 11 a.m. left of the dial at 91.7 FM WYXR, or subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your audio. And if you are a Facebook user, we encourage you to join our Table Talk group there as well. What's up, Holly?
Hello.
So I don't know if you care about this non-food topic I'm going to segue our way into, but it is a day of loss here in Memphis, Tennessee as we record. John Morant out with a torn labrum in his shoulder, done for the season. We just gotten him back a little less than a month ago, got 9 games from him, and he's gone again.
I do care, and I'm very sad. Although, over the years, I have learned to build emotional walls between myself and our basketball teams.
Okay, probably smart.
So I have to say, yes, I am sad, but also, this is what it is.
It is what it is. And I bring this up because while today is a day of loss on the professional basketball scene in Memphis, many days are days of losses in this city and everywhere else on the restaurant scene, because restaurants are always closing. They're always opening, thankfully, too, but they're always closing.
Right.
In recent weeks and recent months, we've lost a lot of places that are very popular around town. We lost Edge Alley over in the Edge District. We lost Binh on Madison Avenue. We lost Ponotoc, also not on Madison, but around the corner from there. And just very, very recently, we had a story up. We lost, I don't know whether this is a loss for you, but I'll circle back to basketball with this one.
Yeah. We
lost Let It Fly.
Yeah.
Former Grizzly sharpshooter Mike Miller's sports bar in Germantown. There are other locations, and the one in Germantown is closing, but he is, I guess, redoubling his efforts in South Haven, where there's a location, if I got that correct. Did you ever eat at any Let It Fly location?
I did, actually, in Germantown a lot, sort of not like the height of the pandemic 2020, but when people started sneaking back out again, I was spending a lot of time with my friend in Germantown at her house there, and we would go there sometimes, or we would go to places around there. So for me, I'm kind of like, dang, that's a bummer, because it was a basic place, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Right. I just mean
Sports
the
bar.
Elements of what you need for brunch. You need some waffles, and you need some chicken, and you need some biscuits and some juice and alcohol, and they had it all, and they brought it to you. So
I went to Let It Fly in Germantown once. I did so as part of a column that I did for a few years pre-COVID that I keep meaning to bring back, and I have not done so, but maybe I will if people want it. I did a column called Food Fight for a while.
I remember this.
I would pit. I liked Food Fight because the whole point of it was you pick a winner.
Yeah. And
everything is not always good or equally good.
You're right.
So some things are better than other things, and I believe it is okay to say one thing is better than another thing. So I did this column called Food Fight where I would pit 2 dishes from 2 different restaurants and do a tell the tape and declare a winner. And I did a food fight, and this is not one I dreamed up. It was one that the people demanded, because it became a social media flare-up between Let It Fly Sports Bar and the Wing Guru,
My goodness.
which is also run by a Memphis basketball player. Billy Richmond, former Memphis Tiger, claimed to have the better wings, and then Mike Miller's Let It Fly claimed to have the better wings. So I went to adjudicate this situation, because somebody had to do it, and the Wing Guru won the food fight over Let It Fly. But Let It Fly, the wings were perfectly fine. And the day I was there, I went for lunch here today, and Mike Miller was just sitting there in a booth by himself. He vaguely remembered me because I had covered him when he was back in the day, early on with the Grizzlies. So I chatted with him a little while. So that is my Let It Fly experience. Not happy to see any places closing, but that's a place I went to once and probably would never have gone back to. So I'll live.
Right. I mean,
and Mike Miller will too.
Same. He will. He'll be okay. My friend doesn't live in Germantown anymore, so I'm not going to miss it either. I'm also fine.
We're fine.
But
so if we're not shedding tears for Let It Fly, there are plenty of other places we have shed tears for over the years and continue to do so. So that's what we're going to do today. for the rest of the show. We're gonna
cry about food.
I don't think it's a round robin because there's only two of us.
Yeah.
Unlike with Eric, so I guess it's a volley. It's like tennis style. We're gonna volley the ball back and forth.
Yes.
And we're gonna throw out some places, mostly in the recent past, but who knows? Maybe every once in a while we'll dig a little deeper. We're going to talk about some Memphis places we miss, and we'll see if we're simpatico on these, or if we have some places that one of us misses and the other doesn't. But we're just going to talk about some restaurants we miss, which is something we like to do, even when there aren't microphones in front of us. But we're going to do it publicly here for the next 25 minutes. So Holly, name a Memphis restaurant that we lost.
Okay, Holiday Deli
and Ham.
Holiday Deli and Ham. Yes.
So I was always confused by that place. First of all, there were multiple locations, right?
Yes.
One in Midtown. There was one out by the Huey's in East Memphis.
Heron Way, Poplar, yeah.
So I don't think I ever ate there. I think I got a ham from there for a family meal once.
Okay.
Which something I endorse doing, getting like pre-made hams. That's delicious. But what I was confused by, and we had a story about this that cleared it up, and now I don't remember anymore. But I never understood whether that was local or that was a chain.
So I think there's Holiday Ham Company, and that is like where you go and get your hams.
Right.
And that's like national, not local. But then Holiday Deli and Ham was more of like a regional thing. And I think you could also get hams from there.
Yes, I think you could, because I think I did that once.
Yes. Again. So extra confusing.
But that's not what you miss.
I miss the Holiday Deli in Midtown on Union that had a drive-through.
Oh.
Because
was that functional there on Union?
Yes, and I kept it in business, I'm telling you, because...
How did I never do this as a fellow Midtowner?
I don't know.
I missed out, and now I can't do it.
I know. This is really sad. I'm just opening up with the saddest one. Okay, because their food is not life-changing, but sometimes you just need, you need a sandwich. Like, you're really hungry.
I think we could all relate. Sometimes you need a sandwich.
You need it fast. Like, for me, it was on the way from my house to, downtown or wherever I was going, and, it was pretty good. And it was pretty consistent. And they had a thing called, a Ramos wrap, and it was just a giant, grilled chicken, avocado spread, cheese situation. And, even after they took it off the menu, I just would go and order it, and I didn't even look at the menu. And, they took it off the menu, and I would still order it, and, no one corrected me. I ordered that, once a week for, a year, probably. And they finally, one day, one of them was like, that's not on our menu anymore. But they just kept making it for me.
That's good.
They had baked potatoes. They had really good chicken tortilla soup. I don't know, just really functional, and the people that work there were really nice.
I did miss out. You just mentioned two things that I have a particular weakness for: the baked potato and the chicken tortilla soup.
Yeah, you can get baked potato with anything on it.
Why not both?
They also have had breakfast. I never did the breakfast. So, anyways, just I feel like there's there's a missing piece there.
Is anything moved into that Midtown location?
No.
I'm sure something's moved into the East Memphis, but I can't remember what it is.
I don't remember either, but it's sad because, again, I really like that place. It was very, very convenient, very good. And, where else are you going to go and get that in the Midtown vicinity? You can go to Lenny's, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is better.
Step down.
The taste is better. Yeah. So,
all right. Well,
R.I.P.
I think I'm going to beat you on the level of sadness coming right out of the gate.
I'm sure you are.
And I'm going a little bit further back than most of my picks, but this, of all the places I thought about, this is the one I think I missed the most. And it moved around different locations, and it went away because the restaurateur owner passed away. And that is Deja Vu, the Creole place that was out sort of not on Crump, but off of Crump in that area.
Like Florida? Am I making that up?
One of those state streets over there. And then it moved to Main for a while. It was on Main Street.
Yes.
And then I think it went back. And I'll throw a bonus. This place I didn't go to as much or like as much, but I did like it, even though it was kind of a weird place. I'll add Mardi Gras in, which is in Crosstown.
Right, for sure.
These were both Black-owned Creole restaurants. And maybe we have something like that still, but I don't know if we have anything quite like those places.
Right.
In terms of the quality, in terms of the specificity of being true Louisiana, New Orleans, Creole, get your etouffee, they had a real good corn chowder, corn and I think crawfish chowder at Mardi Gras. And they did the Bananas Foster's cheesecake, which was a thing at Deja Vu. But that kind of like, sort of your Creole New Orleans variation on a soul food restaurant is something I feel like we don't quite have. And man, Deja Vu was really good.
Yeah, not exactly in the same way. Like we may have some of those dishes at some places in some form, but
a restaurant that hits that spot the way those two places hit that spot.
Right. And the chef from Deja Vu was like from New Orleans. I think he was like a Katrina displacement that moved here. So there was a lot of authenticity and history with that. I know authenticity in food is like a whole thing, but go with me here. Yeah.
So that's my first pick.
Yeah.
It's back to you. I'm gonna loft a soft one over to you.
What I thought you were gonna say.
You were trying to guess the sadness.
Talking about
which is an REM song, I think.
It should be. What I thought you were gonna say when you were talking about Midtown is actually the Muddies in Midtown.
I thought about that. Muddies. There is still a Muddies. Okay, I actually went to the last existing Muddies literally in the past week for the first time in a long time. And they got tables in there now.
Oh.
There were people in there sitting down eating cupcakes this is on Broad.
Yeah.
And so,
I did not know that.
But I still missed the Midtown Muddies Grindhouse, and I missed the OG Muddies in East Memphis. But it was your pick, so back to you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on all those things. I didn't know that they had chairs in there.
Just a couple tables, but there were people sitting there eating.
I mean, the Muddies Grindhouse, Muddies Midtown, whatever. That place I miss a lot for some reason. I found myself there like so often just to get coffee. I did so many interviews there with people and so many like little meetings, and every time I would go there, I would see like 5 people I knew.
Now it's rushing back to me because I also did multiple interviews there. Yeah.
It was just a place where everyone would do that sort of thing. Like, also Otherlands, yes, but Otherlands kind of has its like set clientele. So Muddies was like if you weren't going to Otherlands that day, or if you had not been initiated whatever Otherlands
I think the first
group there is.
I know I interviewed the director of Indie Memphis, artistic director of Indie Memphis there. I mean, that's all coming back to me. And I think the first extended conversation I ever had with then at the time he was not the Grizzlies GM, but current Grizzlies GM was Zach Kleiman, was also a meeting there at Muddy's Grindhouse.
Yeah, I have
memories are flooding back.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. I did. Sometimes the people who would act in the Orpheum Broadway shows like would have some tie to Memphis, like somebody that in the cast. And so I'd always try to like hit up those people and just have a little conversation with them to kind of promote the Orpheum and show people like, here's a cool Memphian. And I would always meet there. So
that became Mobay's Beignets, and I believe that might have closed now.
This week, right? They just said that they're moving to a different location in Memphis. And I think it was a political headquarters briefly before that. I can't even remember.
That needs to be a public. That is an ideal coffee shop-esque kind of location.
I'm really curious.
The Muddies was kind of that, and the Mobay's was kind of that. Even if you're just kind of that, be at least kind of that. Somebody do it.
We need it, and we need more coffee shops in Memphis, period. But in Midtown, I say it all the time in like every episode. It feels like I am curious to know like
move
why
to East Memphis and you'll really be pounding the table.
I know. Well, no, thank you. But no, love East Memphis. Great place. I'm just talking about how great this spot was as like a gathering spot, a third place, all of that. So I miss you, Muddies. I don't understand what happened with Mobay, Beignet, but I actually never went there.
Like that's got a whole yard facing it. It's a great third space.
They had markets there and like food truck stuff, and I guess something about like if I didn't wanting beignets is something really specific. So if you don't want a beignet,
I agree.
Like
I thought the beignets there were good, but I didn't go there as often because it's not the kind of thing you're going to do that often.
Yeah.
Most of us, at least.
Most of us. Yeah. All right. So
that was a great pick. So my pick, maybe this is my version of your holiday ham. It's like this seems like, is this kind of a chain? It's not a chain. It was maybe a ripoff of a chain, but that was okay with me. And that was Sear Shack.
Oh, yes.
Sear Shack. So they ended up having multiple locations. And I don't even think the one I went to in East Memphis was the first. It may have been the second. But that's one I always went to. And is it Sanderland Center, that sort of shopping center?
Yes.
The best, I don't know if it was the best burger in Memphis. Probably not. I don't know if it's the best fries in Memphis. Probably not. I don't know if it was the best milkshake in Memphis. Probably not. but the best burger plus fries plus milkshake in
Agreed.
one place, I think it was that place.
Yeah, I had forgotten about them entirely, which is ridiculous because I agree with you. Like, I don't go get a burger, fries, and a milkshake.
Right.
Hardly ever.
Unless
but
you're
I
just
did
feeling
their
particularly American.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like if you have kids, like I just didn't do that very often. But like the 3 times I did, it was there and it was great.
Well, the period that place existed was when I still have kids, but when my kids were younger and wanting to do stuff like that, particularly on the milkshake front. And like good griddle burgers.
Yeah.
It's basically a rip off of Shake Shack, but whatever. I like it. Good griddle burgers. They had hand cut fries, good fries, and like great like caramel milkshakes. And like I really missed that place. I thought that was going to be like, okay, like, take over the world, keep opening more, just keep that one there.
Yeah.
And it didn't survive COVID, I guess. But I missed that place.
Yeah. I was really surprised when they closed for that same reason 'cause people loved it. It was just like fast and easy. I think people do like a straightforward, fast and easy, put food into my mouth kind of place.
All right, you're up next.
Okay. I've got my little list here.
You got a lot. I got a lot too. We're not going to get through them all.
We aren't.
Choose wisely.
Oh, no pressure. Well, I'll save this one because I feel like we're going to both talk about this one. But one place that
we have not had overlap yet
that I really like, and this is nothing against the place that's there now, which I haven't really been able to explore more than like once. So maybe I'll be fine. But I really like the Ponotoc Lounge in the way that when it originally sort of opened. They went through like a bunch of iterations, but like when they originally opened, they had a small food menu, but I thought they were hits. They had like a Mississippi pot roast served with jalapeno cornbread. They also had like a duck confit thing with like a glaze and like a potato situation and like just good cocktails, kind of a different little atmosphere. It just really hit the spot for me. And so again, nothing against Ibis or
which is the place that is there now.
The place that's there now, like they're just doing something different, and I haven't had time to find like what I like on their menu. But I just miss the Ponotoc Lounge as of old.
I did think about that. I ended up not putting it on my list because I think I only went there twice, but I liked it when I went there, and that was a classic grab a bite, grab a drink before something at the Orpheum place.
Yes,
a little bit quicker, a little bit more casual, a little bit cheaper than like going to Catherine and Mary or now the Lobbyist or one of those kind of places.
Exactly.
And so, definitely, that's too bad that place didn't last.
Yeah, and I thought of it the other day when I was going to see Company at the Orpheum, and I was looking for something in that exact range, and then I remembered it.
All right, so my next one, something else has gone in this location that is very similar to the place I'm gonna mention, and is good. In fact, that was another place I was at last week. My daughter, who maybe used to be a vegetarian and maybe isn't, declared she wanted a burger on her last day in town for lunch. And so I was trying to find a place to get a burger. And I ended up going to Mama's there on off of Crump. The address is not Crump, but off of Crump by the old bridge. But what was there before was the Dirty Crow Inn.
Yes.
And I like Mama's. I like the food. I like the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a little more forced than Dirty Crow Inn was. Dirty Crow Inn was a little more casual in its dive barness.
Right.
And I think it really worked, and the food was good, and they had the good wings and good sandwiches.
Yeah, they had what a lot of people thought were like their favorite wings.
Yeah. They also had their own Poncho's cheese dip, Poncho apostrophe S. Their version, their attempt to replicate the other Poncho's cheese dip that was also quite good. There were lots of dishes like French fries with the Poncho's cheese dip and various Poncho's cheese
right.
dip.
Yeah.
So I admire the Poncho's cheese dip attempt. Again, Mama's has moved in. Mama's is similar. Mama's is good, but I kind of miss the Dirty Crow Inn.
Yeah, I'm with you. They keep popping up on Facebook every once in a while.
Open someplace like in Uptown or whatever. That never happened. Yeah,
that never happened. They post on Facebook every once in a while and tease everybody, but
that was not on your list.
That one actually wasn't on my list.
I can see.
Well, yes.
There's so many places.
There's so many places.
No overlap so far.
No overlap so far. Okay, I'm going to go for this one to make sure that we talk about it. Maybe we've talked about it even before on the podcast, but Sweetgrass.
That is literally the next thing I have on my list. Kind of. Okay. For me, it's next door. I know at one point it sort of came together, but my memory, I was there most frequently when they were separated, and I was a next door guy.
Same, really. Yeah. And again, maybe we've talked about this before, but next door, Sweetgrass next door, which everyone, I mean, I went there all of the time, watched so many Grizzlies games.
Yep.
This is in the era when I had to like build up my emotional walls to protect myself from sports feelings. Yeah, and they had really good food. I liked Sweetgrass as well, but I was more going to next door and hang out. It was another place in Midtown. You would just see everybody that you knew. And like, I love Public House. Like, that's a great restaurant, the place that's in there now. But pour one out. Public Bistro. Yeah. Pour one out for next door. And
shout out to the Dirty Bird, the
Yes.
knife and fork, spicy fried chicken sandwich. Everyone loved their nachos. I like the nachos fine, but I like the chicken sandwich more. But I like getting a drink, talking to people, watching a game. Great. That was.
They had a fried green tomato BLT.
Yes. Yeah, that was sort of my kind of bar at that point in my life.
Yeah,
was that place. All right, so that was, we finally had some overlap. There we go. So my next place, similar to my previous one, Dirty Crow Inn, is something else has gone into this location that is quite good. In fact, I think I've written about a couple times this year, which is El Pollo Latino, the Colombian rotisserie chicken joint.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, it was a different Colombian restaurant. It was Arepas Delicosos, I think is how you said it, which was a very homey place. And you could get a bowl of beans, just a bowl of beans.
Okay.
At Arepas Delicosos, which was one of my favorite meals in town, just a humble little bowl of beans. And it was so good. And that was a very homey place. And that's a place that I missed. Did you ever go there?
I did not go there.
You missed
more
out.
than once or twice. I'm sad that I missed out. I'm still crying about Los Compadres being gone. That was like the Mexican place.
So Los Compadres, this was like a gradual thing with them because the locations changed.
Yeah.
And I feel like the quality sort of took a step down a little bit before the closing.
Yeah. Because, well, they had like the Cuban menu.
Yes.
And they also had just all your regular Tex-Mex stuff. And
yeah, you get paella there on the Cuban menu. Right.
Really good. But
I would rather have Los Compadres back than like whatever seafood place is in that location now.
Seafood boil place, USA.
I don't like seafood boil places. I don't want to get wet sitting inside.
Yeah, I don't want.
If I'm at a picnic table by the beach in the summer on, then bring me some boiled seafood. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking to get wet sitting at a booth inside anywhere.
Well, you don't have to, luckily. But a lot of people are enjoying that apparently because there's still about 1 million of those seafood boil restaurants. Whose turn is it?
I think it's your turn. I think Los Compadres was a bonus, right?
Yeah, it was a bonus. It was a spinoff. Okay, I'm going to go way back just because I want to. Frank's Deli.
That is on my list.
Frank's Deli. Now, when I first started working at the Commercial Appeal, we would get Frank's Deli delivered.
This is way back in the day.
Way back.
You were at the Commercial Appeal before I was at the Commercial Appeal.
This was like 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
like
right
around
before.
then.
I think you left right before I went over there.
Yeah, I left in 2013. But yeah, Frank's Deli, they had like a smoked chicken sandwich with avocado stuff and like...
They smoked all their meats in-house.
It was just really tasty. So good. And it came in this like really thick paper. I just remember like the experience of like unwrapping it and... So good. And they had like a little guy on a bicycle. And I also went in there like a couple of times and it was kind of like a convenience store.
It's a convenience store and you walk to the back.
Yeah.
The smoked turkey club at Frank's Deli was my favorite sandwich in town. So that was a 2-meal sandwich, by the way. I mean, it was enormous.
Yeah.
But it was so good. The turkey was so good. The bacon was so good. The ham was so good. The bread, frankly, was really good.
Yeah. It was clutch.
That place was great. I don't know if there's been like a cold cut sandwich place in Memphis before or since I like as much as Frank's Deli on South Main.
I don't think so. I would love to know what happened with that, where those people are. Yeah. We miss you, Frank.
We miss you, Frank. So I also have a sandwich spot for my next one. This is how we're doing on time. We got a few more minutes. And this is a place that it seemed like they were going to doing like the hiatus thing and we'll be back. And they haven't been back. And I don't know, maybe there's news out there I've missed, but Parish Grocery.
Oh, yeah.
Which originally opened closer to where I live, not in my neighborhood, but closer to my neighborhood. It opened in Evergreen initially in that little stretch where Ponotoc is now.
Right.
On
I remember
Overton Park Street, maybe. I think that's right. And then it moved to Cooper Young, which is probably a wise business decision. More foot traffic in Cooper Young. but now it's closed, and I don't know the deal, but like those were good po' boys. They were good po' boys. They were good fried green tomatoes. They were good etouffee and red beans and rice. And they even did the snowballs, which like were not as good as like a Jerry's, thing. But I thought those po' boys were very good.
I had this strange experience of living very, very close to Parish Grocery's Korean location and never eating there because the 3 or 4 times I tried to go, they were closed.
Yeah.
And some of that was just like poor planning. But one time we went to have brunch at 11, maybe 11:30, and they were like, we're closed already. And I was like, I don't understand. When are you serving brunch? I never got answers, but I never got to try it.
We used to get takeout when it was in Evergreen, when it first opened in the Evergreen area. We used to get takeout po' boys from there all the time and go like eat them on our back porch and that kind of thing.
I love a good po' boy, so that's a real bummer. But maybe they'll pop back up again somewhere.
All right,
maybe.
I think we got time for, 3 or 4 more maybe. What do you got?
Rapid fire, maybe. I really liked Strano for brunch when it was in East Memphis. I know people have strong opinions about Strano, but I really liked their, what was it, like butternut squash sauce pizza. That was really good for brunch. It was just, nobody else has that kind of like autumnal flavors pizza situation in the same way. And I just really like it. Although that guy, Chef Josh, has Hive bagels and Deli that we've sung praises for.
Yep.
I do kind of miss having that other brunch spot.
So this one may be a little on the obvious side, but I miss Porcelino's.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot going on conceptually with Porcelino's, and maybe that was part of the problem. And Buster's Butcher, which is run by the same guy who, for at least at one point, ran the butcher counter at Porcelino's, has replaced a lot of some of the stuff, like the really good takeout burger, pre-made burgers to cook at home and some of that. But I haven't seen the Porcelino's coffee custard show up anywhere else.
Well,
and I haven't seen their take and bake cinnamon rolls show up anywhere else. And there was just there was a lot going on, and like the whole dim sum cart action, I thought was interesting. I think I only did that once. But there was just a lot of good stuff there that I feel like, a lot has been lost.
Yes. Aesthetically, that place was really great. Like, especially at that time, there weren't a lot of spots like trying to be like Instagram friendly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what their intent was, but that's what it was.
This is what people don't know. This was the spinoff of Andrew Michael Empire. It was right next door to Hog and Hominy.
Right.
And part of the idea, because it was right, they had the whole little compound with Andrew Michael, Hog and Hominy, and Porcelino's. And part of the idea was Porcelino's was its own restaurant, but it was also preparing meats and preparing foods that would go to the other two.
Right.
So conceptually, it all seemed really interesting, but for whatever reason, it didn't last.
Well, another Andrew Michael one that I never ate at, I drank at a couple times, was the Grey Canary. And I kind of would have liked to have tried that because it has a beautiful long bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems like a wasted space.
I
now.
ate there twice, and it was up and down by their standards, I will say.
Right.
So I'm not going to say I missed that.
Right. I think I only missed it because I never got to try it, other than I've had some drinks at the bar there, but that's it. So I miss what I never had.
But that was not your pick. That was another spinoff, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah? We got room for
that's a spinoff. Yeah.
One more.
I got a long list here.
Do rapid fire. Just name them.
Okay. Midtown Crossing.
Never ate inside.
It was just a good spot to gather. We've already talked about Edge Alley. Maybe that was my list. Maybe we did get through all of them. I miss the old school local when it very first opened in like 2007 or 8. No, in downtown, but also same concept with Overton Square. I'll throw that one in the mix. Just when it very first opened, really good burgers, really interesting food, like for specials and stuff. Lots of fun Grizzlies games. And it's just different now. And of course, the Overton Square one is very closed.
All right, I got a handful real quick. Shanghai, which was in Midtown on Poplar. Trolley Stop Market. They're good thin crust pizza. For some reason, there was a Grimaldi's in Germantown, which is a pizza place in Brooklyn that I don't think they franchised. I don't know why it was there, but the pizza was great, and then it disappeared. Trasimino's, we've talked about, the pizza in Crosstown. And go way, way, way back. Bunton, the original Bunton on Southern Avenue. That's way, way, way back. That's a generation ago, but very soft spot in my heart. Anyway, those are restaurants we missed.
Yeah.
And this has been Sound Bites. And for Holly and for Natalie, not on the mic, not even talking off mic this week. I'm Chris. Thanks for listening.